Alright, this video is for doing carvings or designs into your surface. So remember, you needed to use a line in some way, and that could be as simple as creating a pattern or using lines to like draw out an emblem or logo or even a word. So whatever you wanted to do. So this piece has already been, rib tooled. I sponged it down so it's nice and smooth. I've cut the rim, I've scooped the inside, it's ready to go. So I want to show you a few things, like some tips and tricks for if you're nervous about carving in without a plan. So if you have access to a printer, you could print off some patterns or words or logos or whatever it is that you wanted to do. And you can like use that as a guide on your piece. So I can just kind of place this, like maybe I'll do it kind of in the center. And then I'm just going to take a ballpoint pen and I'm going to push the design, through the paper into the pot. So this is kind of like tracing. Just do another one down here. So I am kind of pushing, it's kind of ripping the paper a little bit. But then you see the pattern is now on the pot. So I can now go back over that with my pen. And if this is at the leather hard stage, which actually I think I would like this to be a little stiffer, but we'll make it work today for the video. So I can make my lines a little deeper. See, if this was a little more leather hard, I wouldn't be getting all those little roll-ups of clay there. It would just kind of be pressing out, so that's why I don't love that stage right here. So I can just use this pen tip if I just want a nice broad line like this. Or I could do, let me draw this another triangle-y thing here. Just making this up as I go now. And if you mess something up, you can just go grab your rib tool and scrape away what you are like, ooh, I don't like that. So if you want more than just like a line, you can take your loop tool and actually like remove some clay too. I could also like I could pierce this so I could put a hole in it. So if I just wanted to remove it, I would just start scooping some of that clay away. And this just creates variety in our piece, and we know variety is one of those art words that makes our art look more interesting, visually pleasing, a little more complete. And then I'm just trying to even it out now that I've scooped some. So now I kind of have carved away diamond instead of just the outline. And remember, since we're not going to get a ton of opportunity for glazing, we want to make these surfaces as, interesting as possible without relying on glaze, so keep that in mind too. And remember, you don't have to do this all over your pot. Like I could just work on this little area, and then this is my line creating a pattern in an emphasized area. That's fine. And then I'll just work on tweaking this, and I'll allow this to get harder so I can kind of clean up those lines that are a little funky. It's not quite dry enough, in my opinion. And I'll just keep working on this guy. Now, if you were going to do words, you'd have to do it back. No, you could do forwards, yeah, okay. If you wanted to cut this out, I could just keep digging here. Or you could take, if you have like an X-Acto knife, like I have. I have a crusty old one that I just use in the ceramic studio because it doesn't need to be sharp anymore. I could go ahead and just slice. Now I wasn't allowed to provide these in your art pack, so this is just like if you have it at home already and your parents don't mind you using this, it's a tool that you can use. So we're just kind of getting creative with the things we have at home. And now I have a piercing, and I can kind of clean this up later, with a wet finger. to get rid of like those little cut marks and such. So you could do piercings if you like, and your surface as well too. So I don't want you to get bogged down by thinking line is just like lines all over, like this, even though there's a negative space here, it is outlined by a line, right? So line basically means anything. So that's my little sneaky way of letting you do whatever you want, but still using an art element and principle. Okay, so have fun carving this up, and then we'll clean up all our little crusty dusties. When it's done, if you want to keep it, your name goes on the bottom very clearly, so you might have to write it all the way around here, just with a pen tip, very, very clear. And then I'll talk about the firing slips if you want to fire it.